let Ben start us
I'll give a quick intro then. So we at FusionWare have decided to do these monthly webinars for a couple reasons. One is we are constantly changing and updating the product, and we'd love to share with you the changes that we've made. And some of them, Jeff does a great job sending out an email and providing these updates, but sometimes it's just great to see them live and to see publicly what how you can use them as you go about using FusionWare. So that's the first objective. The second is we know annually that every month it's a different season, and there's some things that you used to know how to do in FusionWare and you need a reminder. And so we're going to be going through some of those processes as a product team and a support team to make sure you have what you need to be able to move into this next season and you can get a refresher on FusionWare. So as we dive in, Jeff and Doug are going to handle the presentation. And if you have any questions, please, as soon as we think of them, drop them in the chat. We won't have you come on and interrupt, but Jeff will let you know if he's open for a question as it comes along. And if you send it in the chat, Levi will be checking those out and interrupting Jeff throughout the presentation so he can get those answered in a timely fashion. So, Jeff, take it away.
Okay, I am just going to turn on our share screen, and Doug is going to do our training on run profiles here. And let me kick this on. Okay, and I'm going to move actually the screen over here. So, all right.
Okay. So, thanks for joining us, you guys that are jumping on here with us. One of the things that as we've gone through here and are planning out these trainings, like Jeff was saying, we were wanting to be able to have things that are in the season that you're going to be using them. So prior to planting, we can go over field harvest. Prior to, harvesting and stuff like that, we can run through some of the packing stuff. The thing that we wanted to hit on today was around the run profiles. We get a lot of questions about how to set up a run profile. The first things that you need in a run profile is obviously the product that you want to tie to that run profile. So today what I am going to do is I'm actually going to set up a run profile for a 16-3 red onion. Okay, and you can see here that it weighs 48 pounds on that red onion. This is important because as you set up a run profile, the run profile is only going to let you add products that are going to be 48 pounds. Okay, so as we go into this run profile, you'll go to settings, products, let's try that again. How about settings and production lines, and then run profile. And here is our grouping for the run profile, groupings of run profiles. We're just going to add a new run profile called 16-3 onion. And we usually will have probably between 48 and 50 units per pallet. And then this is going to be a bagged product, and we want it to be finished. Once you've added that, it brings you into this section here. Over here on the right hand side, this is where we're going to add the product itself. So we're going to come in and say, this is a 16-3 red onion. We want to tie it to that, and then we want to make sure and hit the plus sign here. Once you've added that to the run profile, you can see here that there is no button label. This button label pulls from the button label section in the settings, or it will grab the label off of this product here and put it into here. So this product does not have a label, and we have some buttons already created in that section. So we're just going to call this a jumbo red onion. But it's going to be that 16-3 red onion, okay? Over here, you can see that it automatically calculated the weight for the entire pallet. That's based on the 48 pounds per unit. And so this is what an entire pallet is going to be. And then we have the 50 bags per pallet that's going to come onto here. sometimes people want a max quantity. They don't want a pallet that has more than 50 bags on it. So you can set that here, or a weight tolerance on a pallet as well. So we don't want anything over 2,500 pounds on a pallet. So you can set that here so that they don't go over that amount. The type and inventory type, those were set on setup of the pallet. One thing that a lot of people I don't think know about is you can actually set a default pallet option for a product. So say we're loading or building a load that's going to go into Walmart, and you want CHEP pallets to be the primary pallet that you're going to be packing this stuff on. If you put that on here, what it does is it puts a little identifier for us in the inventory itself, or on the inventory itself, so that you can sort on the inventory board by 16.3 red onions that are actually packed on a CHEP pallet. And so that's what this default pallet option does for us. Now, if you're actually packing bulk totes and stuff, and you're weighing every pallet that you want, and you want an exact weight, you can do this allow weight override, because the product is going to have a default weight on it, but it's not going to have the actual weight of the pallet. And so this allows you to override the weight of a tote or something like that, so that you have that exact weight. Allow pallets with zero quantity. This is just a yes or no. If you don't want something to come up as zero, then you'll just keep it as no. Otherwise, you'd click yes, and you can create a pallet tag that has a zero quantity on it. Now again, on a bulk tote, you have the quantity comes in as 1, and then you have a weight on there. And let's say we're repacking that product and we're putting it in, we only want to put half of that tote in to repack into a different product. So you can mark this as a yes, and it'll allow you to do it by quarters of a single pallet. Okay. And then there are some people that like to do inspections on finished product. So what they will do is they will create this pallet, and they want it to come in as on hold, so that they can go through and do an inspection or something to that effect. And then after they've done that inspection, they'll take that off hold, and then it'll show up on the inventory board for you. A couple of other things that's nice about the run profile is sometimes you want to pack a certain amount of quantity of a certain label. So you can come into here and actually add the quantity here. So you put in 320, and it has that right next to the button label itself. And then it just counts down as you pack that product. The auto update function here, if you turn this on, what it actually looks at is the source. And when you are dumping a product into a source that is a certain variety, it will auto activate the products that have that same variety set on it. And so you can see you have that active and disabled function here. And so if you disable it, this button completely goes away. When it's active, it's there and you're able to use it. And so if I dump in a yellow onion and the variety is yellow, it will disable this button, so you're not able to actually push it. Okay. So that's some of the settings that we have inside the run profile. And now we've got the product set to come onto here. This last little piece right here, this is the one that most people forget about doing. We have this run profile that's out there. It's got the product on it, but it does not have a location that it resides at yet. So if we come over here to our locations tab and go to our packing location, this is where we want that run profile to exist. And so I'm going to come here to my production lines, and I have my onion pack line here. If you look over to the right here, there is a run profile drop down. If you click on this run profile drop down, it'll give you all of the run profiles that are on this production line. And so I'm just going to add that 16.3 onion right here. And as soon as I add that in, it is now available to be packed on our production board. So if we jump over to our production board now, you'll see that 16.3 run profile is here, and it's ready to start packing on it. I want to jump back here real quick and show you what I was talking about. So you can see the button over here. It doesn't have that number, and I can come in here and add the 320 here and jump back to that now. And now I just have a countdown of 320 as I am packing the product out. So each time I go in and actually pack the product, it will pop up our tag, but you can see now I've got 270 left to pack here. And so that's kind of a rundown of how we want to add run profiles to the production board. Is there any questions along those lines? Okay, if there's no questions on that, I'm going to let Jeff talk to you a little bit about the mobile app and some of the functionality that we have going on there. So I'll just let Jeff jump in here.
So we have a lot of customers who still are not aware that we do have a mobile app, or aware of all the new features that we've added, especially over the course of the last year. And we have our key team members over the mobile app on this call too. So if we have some super technical questions, they're here to support us on that. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump here into our mobile app, and I am on a Mac computer, and so I have the ability to pull up applications. So it works for the most part like it does on your mobile device. But the FusionWare mobile app has a lot of functionality that we're building out, and it's designed to mirror the web application, but you can do it on the go, whether that's out in the field trying to take some inspections down on some field samples, or it's down on the floor scanning inventory or doing different things, but with the device that you already have. So but this can be downloaded in the this can be downloaded in the App Store. So we're going to hop in here to our App Store. So for Apple, you would come in Android, the Google Play Store. You're just going to type in FusionWare. And this is what it's going to look like. You're going to see the FW and download it. And then once it's downloaded, you're going to use your same login that you use on the web application. And you're going to put in your username and password, and then it will sign you in. So we do have some color changes going on right now and some things. So especially if you're using the app pretty consistently over the next few months, you're going to see changes and additions, but we put those out in the what's new information. But just a brief overview to get to every section of the mobile application. If you click on the triple lines, the hamburger menu here, it's going to show you everything that we have that's part of the app right now. And this is also if you need to log out, where the log out is at. And then we have some of the important key shortcuts down here at the bottom with the home and profile, signatures, and then the more. And this more section, if you actually have an Android scanner, so there's a lot of scanners out there that are touchscreen that have the Android operating system on them, and then they also have a Zebra scanner attachment built onto them, so it'll use the scanner and not the camera to scan barcodes. You then would need to go to activate that in the application and select the has scanner and make sure that's turned on. Otherwise, it's going to want to default to the device's camera. So I am on a device without a scanner, so I'm going to make sure that no scanner's on. I can come in, continuing down here along the bottom tray. So this is my profile. I can quickly add my user signature by just hitting update, and I can add that right here, touch it on the screen, and I don't have to text that to myself through the web application. So it's a very quick and easy way for people to add their signatures if they don't have that. And so my contact information, and I'm just going to back out of here, back to our home page. So the signatures section of the application was one of the initial things that we built the mobile app for, was simply so that drivers could come into a shipping location and on a tablet pull up the BOL signature pad. So if I click on this on signatures, and we could select one of the orders that's shipping for the day, and the driver themselves could sign for that right on the screen. So that was kind of how the mobile app began, and then it's applying my signature as the shipper. And so now, just like that, we've applied the driver signature to that order. So that's a quick shortcut for that, but I'll go ahead and go through the rest of the functionality of the app. We have here in the very top section, we have our companies list. And so on the go, you can quickly pull up the contact information for companies, email, and different notes. You'll notice in a lot of the sections of the mobile app that if you have forms that are tied to those things like orders or companies, you can come in here anywhere you see this page icon and select your form that you might have for them, and actually do all the input right on your mobile device, and then submit that, and it's just saves that time having to go back to a computer to put in some of that quick information. Also in companies, we have the option we can add a contact to that company as you're in there as well. So you can go into different aspects of the mobile app: companies, orders, receivings, inventory, and you can add forms, attach forms to those, pull those up and fill those out, or you can go directly into the form section and select that form type. So if we go back to that company, and then you select your form, and then you can select the company that you want to attach that form to. So we also have customers who have forms that they need access to, like out in a field where they don't have a cell phone location. And so once you have that form selected, you can select the download button, and that will download the form to your device. And then when you were back in cell phone range, it will then upload that filled out form and attach it to that. In this case, this carrier setup form will attach the appropriate company. So we have the ability, you'll see the scanner pull up here, which it's using the camera on my laptop. But otherwise, we can just come in here, and this is an extremely handy tool, the inventory section. Doug was on site with the customer, and they were just walking by the pallets and all those barcodes, all those pallet tags, and just able to just scan very quickly and pull up all the pallet tag information for that inventory item. And so you can see from the ID to its status, to the grower that's tied to it, the lot number, and its current location. And if it's at a wrong location, if you have multiple locations you move inventory around at, there's an option to then move that directly here in the app and reassign that location. These other buttons, these are features that are coming soon, but they are not active. You'll just get a feature coming soon. So. And then we have a load truck shortcut. If you want to quickly load inventory onto an order, you can do that through here, or you can go directly into the order itself. And so for this example, we'll go back to this order 101158, and we can come in here and click load truck, and that activates the scanner or the camera, or you can manually type in that pallet tag. And so this shows order status, a lot of the key information, and then some of the rates, costs, and then the quantity. And then when you go to load the truck, it's going to show you how much inventory has been loaded currently and what's left. But while I'm here in the order section, this is another spot where you can collect the signature for the BOL. We have the forms, and then we have the documents. You'll notice that so like this BOL, it was emailed out the other day, and then there was a mobile and actual picture upload that was taken. We can click on the camera button, and with your device you can take a picture and attach it to this document. And then if we go back into, we're going to go into this order really quick. And so those documents are all right here. And so this picture I took the other day, yep, there's me. So I took that from my device. It's now attached to this order. So very helpful for those, especially if you're doing inspections and need to take a picture of some damaged product or the inside of a shipping container for that order, whatever you want to, and you can then attach it there. So, and then this is the load truck screen. You can see here we have the option to change the truck layout, to split it, and then as this starts getting loaded, you'll see your remaining amount and everything there. So the receiving is something that you can actually create receivings from inside of the mobile app. So either we can scan a storage if you have barcodes set up for that, but otherwise you can go in, select your storage, you select your lot, and then you're going to select your destination. And once you've done that, that gives you the ability to come in here and put in, if you want a reference number, the driver or the truck number. If we created this on accident, we can delete it. We can come in and collect the heavyweight. If you have your scale integrated with FusionWare, that will automatically, if you're sitting on the scale, that weight will pull in here, and we can click submit and attach that weight to it. We also, lightweight, net weight, and then the driver signature for the receiving. If you require that, there's that option. And then of course we can go in and look through receivings, previous receivings, and just pull up the basic information on those. And I think that covers it on the mobile app. Do we have any questions around that? I will say, Tyler, if you're still with us, what do we have coming up next for the mobile app that's new and exciting?
Lots of exciting things, actually. So you probably saw in various parts of the app, we have that scanning functionality. We just pulled in, we have a big update coming, like Jeff said, with some color changes and just some overall changes. But the scanning library that we're pulling in is extremely fast. It's really efficient. We have potential to scan multiple barcodes at once, which could be awesome in different scenarios, to point the phone at, multiple things and have it scan and go through really efficiently. And then pretty much, every base page that you saw Jeff point out, we're going to just continue to add features to. It's just barely touching, kind of grazing the main functionality we want to get done. But going forward, every single page is going to get more robust and more like the web app, and making it so that you can do a lot of the functionality from the web app, that you usually do in the web app. So, just I guess right off my head, the scanning is going to be the biggest thing coming immediately. But yeah, tons of exciting new things coming to each of those pages that Jeff pointed out in the coming months. So
excellent. Thanks, Tyler. I kind of put him on the spot. He didn't know he was going to be speaking. So, but Tyler lives and breathes the mobile app. So if anybody knows what's up and coming, he does. So thank you for that, Tyler. I did want to point out one key thing with the mobile app is, let me share my screen again here. So the one major thing with the mobile app that we run into the most is that users don't have the correct permissions. And so we have to make sure that the user that is using the mobile device that you're logged into, that they have privileges surrounding the mobile app. So you can see here, I don't have add inventory to order. And so if I try to scan in a pallet tag, it's not going to allow me to do that. But in respect to those permissions, we also need to make sure I've got like load truck on the order board. And so we have some of the same logic that's tied to permissions for our web application. We're also intertwined with our mobile application. And so in this case, I was getting some errors earlier, and I can come in here and say, okay, this user doesn't have that. Now we have some companies as we're adding these mobile permissions, and we're updating this and changing this, but if your company doesn't have certain permissions, we need to go turn them on for you, and then you'll have the ability to turn them on for your users. But permissions is big. So really quick, we're at middle of the hour at the end of our presentation, but I did just want to point out that we have a support page at support.fusionware.com. You can also get to it from the question mark drop down. And so I've got direct links in here for the help center or directly to the videos or to our what's new page. And then you can subscribe to get alerts and updates. And we try to send those out at least once a month. And then if you're ever on a call with Doug and I and we say, hey, hit the question mark, there's an ambulance or a house or a briefcase, click on that and that'll put you into a Google Meet, the same type of meeting that we're in now. But the support page is laid out similar to how FusionWare is laid out, in the sense that we have the boards, which includes the transactions, the production and miscellaneous boards, reports. And so this is something like the mobile app we've been adding to. We've got some, a fairly broad range of items in here, but we're continuing to add more and more to it. But down here, I just want to point out, we have the what's new. As new stuff is coming up, I am putting it in here. So for May, this just launched today, this Rounding Precision shipping board modal updates are something recently we put in too, but then at the end of the month I summarize those and send those out. But here is our webinar information for upcoming webinars. Our next one will be in June, and I will get that information on here as quick as possible. But all the previous webinars, we will have the videos embedded down here so you can share it with your team. But I'll go ahead and stop presenting. Are there any questions from anybody else on anything we've covered? No? Okay. Well, thank you everybody for your time. And we're going to aim to do these on a monthly basis, and hopefully the something old will be something that you are in need of, or people in your team are in need of during that time of year. And we will go from there. So thank you everybody, and you have a great rest of your week.
Thanks everyone.